GTA 5's story follows three criminals whose lives collide after a buried betrayal resurfaces. Michael wants a quiet life, Franklin wants a way out of street crime, and Trevor wants revenge. Their partnership grows through increasingly dangerous heists until loyalty becomes impossible to maintain. Los Santos is the setting for a story about crime, ambition, and reinvention. Rockstar presents Michael DeSanta as a retired bank robber living under a new identity, while Franklin Clinton is still trying to escape the street life. Trevor Philips is far away, building his own criminal operation in Blaine County. Michael's secret explains why the story begins with a lie. Years earlier, during the North Yankton robbery, Michael made a deal with Dave Norton. His death would be staged, and Michael would enter witness protection. Trevor escaped and believed his partner was dead. That unfinished history becomes the central danger of the game. The North Yankton robbery is shown at the start of GTA 5, but its meaning becomes clearer later. Michael arranges a fake death while Trevor escapes. The opening deliberately leaves a question hanging. If Michael died, why does Trevor eventually discover that his old friend is alive? Franklin begins as a repo man, working for an Armenian car dealer, but he wants a bigger life. His chance arrives when he meets Michael while repossessing a vehicle. Michael recognizes Franklin's ability and gradually pulls him into serious criminal work. Franklin becomes the bridge between Michael's old world and a new generation of criminals. The jewelry heist establishes the game's core structure. Lester plans the operation, Michael leads it, and Franklin proves he can handle the pressure. The robbery gives Michael the money he needs to repair his family life, but it also puts the old gang story back into motion. Trevor's discovery changes everything. He sees television coverage connected to Michael's new life and realizes the man he thought was dead is alive. Trevor's reaction is not simple surprise. He sees Michael's survival as a betrayal of the deal they once made, and he heads toward Los Santos. Michael, Franklin, and Trevor want different things. Michael wants stability, Franklin wants advancement, and Trevor wants freedom from anyone who might control him. Their differences are exactly why the trio works so well for heists, and why their alliance is always unstable. The Paleto operation shows how far the trio has escalated. A small-town bank robbery turns into a military-scale fight, leaving the crew with money but also a much larger profile. Every successful job makes their next move more dangerous because law enforcement and rival criminals have more reason to watch them. Michael's family gives the story its emotional center. He has money and a luxurious house, but his family life is falling apart. His criminal career is not simply a source of income. It is part of the reason his family no longer trusts him. His answer is usually another risky scheme, which only deepens the problem. Michael's retirement is built on the idea that he escaped his old life, but the North Yankton secret proves the past was never gone. Trevor's arrival destroys the illusion, and Michael becomes increasingly dependent on Franklin to manage problems that his old life created. Government pressure complicates every move. Michael and Trevor are forced into work for the FIB, while Merriweather creates another layer of danger. The trio keeps accepting jobs because each criminal faction can threaten them, and because money gives them leverage over the people trying to control them. The final major heist is the payoff for everything the trio has built. The Union Depository contains the kind of wealth that could permanently change their lives. Michael and Franklin can choose between a more direct approach and a carefully planned operation, while the crew's survival depends on everyone doing their part. The betrayal is the story's central fracture. Michael's secret explains Trevor's anger, while Trevor's unpredictability threatens Michael's family and plans. Franklin becomes the person both men trust enough to work with, even though neither can fully trust the other. Franklin's position becomes the decisive one. Michael and Trevor have reached a point where coexistence is almost impossible, and Franklin receives three endings: kill Trevor, kill Michael, or attempt to save all three. Trevor's ending turns Franklin against one of his own allies. Trevor dies after a confrontation with Franklin and Michael, and the remaining characters continue their lives knowing their partnership ended in murder. It is the most direct resolution of the conflict, but it costs Franklin one of the relationships he built during the story. Michael's ending makes Franklin kill the man who first brought him into high-level crime. Michael's death is also a collapse of the mentor relationship at the heart of Franklin's story. Trevor survives, but Franklin loses the person who helped turn his ambition into a criminal empire. The third option is often called Deathwish. Franklin refuses to kill either friend. Instead, the trio turns their attention to the people who have been manipulating them, including Steve Haynes and Devin Weston, while also confronting Stretch and Wei Cheng's organization. Deathwish resolves several conflicts at once. The trio eliminates the people directly threatening them, and Devin Weston is taken away for a final reckoning. The important difference is that Franklin does not become the executioner of Michael or Trevor. Their friendship remains damaged, but alive. After the finale, the three protagonists have achieved the freedom they wanted, but not the clean lives they imagined. Michael has a chance to rebuild his family life, Franklin becomes financially independent, and Trevor remains outside conventional society. Their survival is the reward and the burden of choosing to stay together. The final image captures the structure of GTA 5's story. Three people with different ideas of freedom end up connected by the choices they make. Rockstar's official description frames the game around Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, the heists they undertake, and the internal tensions threatening to tear them apart. That is exactly what the final choice puts on screen. GTA 5's central question is about reinvention. Michael tries to retire, Franklin tries to rise above his environment, and Trevor refuses to change. Their final conflict works because each character represents a different answer to the same problem. What does freedom mean when your past keeps following you? The story basis uses Rockstar's official description as the primary source for the premise, setting, and protagonists, with established plot references used to cross-check the ending and major events. The AI visuals are illustrative. For the final upload, authentic gameplay or cutscene footage can replace them scene by scene. Franklin's early life matters because his ambition is practical. He sees Lamar taking risks without a plan, while Franklin wants money, status, and control over his future. Meeting Michael gives him access to a criminal world far larger than the neighborhood conflicts he started with. Lester is the strategist, connecting the protagonists to the jobs. His role explains why the heists can be approached as planned operations rather than random shootouts. He researches targets, identifies weaknesses, and gives the crew a structure for choosing equipment, personnel, and an approach. Blitz play demonstrates the trap surrounding Michael and Trevor. The Fib uses their criminal abilities for an operation, then leaves them exposed to the consequences. Their survival depends on completing jobs for people who would eventually arrest or kill them if those relationships stop being useful. Merryweather represents a different kind of enemy, a private military company with equipment and resources beyond ordinary street criminals. Trevor's obsession with stealing from them also shows his personality. He treats danger as an opportunity, even when the reward may not justify the risk. After Paleto, the protagonists are no longer operating like small-time criminals. The jobs have become spectacles, involving armored forces, helicopters, and military hardware. The bigger the score becomes, the less believable Michael's claim that he is finished with crime becomes. Trevor and Michael are dangerous together because they know each other's history. Trevor knows Michael's habits and fears, while Michael knows Trevor's volatility. Their arguments are not only about money, they are arguments over whether the past can be rewritten by one person without destroying another. The deeper conflict is that everyone has an agenda. Michael made a secret deal to escape, Trevor interprets that deal as betrayal, and government agents exploit both men. Franklin eventually sees that killing either friend would solve someone else's problem rather than his own. Franklin's choice makes narrative sense because he is the character still defining himself. Michael has already built and lost a family life, and Trevor has embraced his criminal identity. Franklin can either inherit one of their paths or reject the demand that he kill one of them. Deathwish is the ending that refuses the two assassination options. Franklin chooses to keep both relationships and confront the wider network of enemies instead. The result is not a peaceful ending, it is a violent attempt to remove the forces that keep controlling their choices. Devin Weston is important because he treats people as assets. By the finale, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor have learned enough about each other to cooperate against him. His downfall gives the third ending its central idea. The protagonists stop letting outside power decide which of them must die. After the finale, Los Santos is still the same corrupt and violent world. What changes is the protagonist's position inside it. Franklin has escaped the narrow limits of his old neighborhood life. Michael has another chance with his family, and Trevor continues operating on his own terms. The story underneath the heists is about three definitions of success. Michael wants comfort, Trevor wants complete freedom, and Franklin wants upward mobility. Their goals overlap when money is involved, but their ideas of loyalty and responsibility pull them apart. That tension is what gives the final choice its weight. The final decision summarizes GTA 5's story. Franklin refuses to accept that his future requires the death of one of his friends. Michael and Trevor survive, the people manipulating them are defeated, and the three criminals remain connected by the choices they made together. The heist structure is part of the story rather than decoration. Planning and approach makes the protagonists feel like professionals, choosing crew members creates consequences, and the payout changes what they can attempt next. The system also reinforces the narrative. Every successful robbery solves one problem, while creating another. Michael's arc is not a clean redemption story. He remains capable of violence and deception, but he becomes more honest about what he wants. His relationship with Trevor forces him to confront the lie behind his retirement, while Franklin gives him a chance to act like a mentor, rather than simply another criminal employer. Trevor's arc is built around loyalty rather than redemption. He can be cruel and destructive, but he also takes betrayal personally and refuses to abandon the people he considers his own. That contradiction explains why he can be both the most dangerous member of the trio and one of its strongest offenders. Franklin's arc is the clearest upward movement. He starts by repossessing cars for someone else and gradually becomes a central member of major heists. His final decision matters because he has enough power to choose his own future. He can become the next Michael, betray Michael, side with Trevor, or reject the entire demand. GTA 5's final idea is deliberately uncomfortable. The protagonists win because they refuse to kill each other, but they do not become ordinary citizens. Their freedom is still built on crime. Rockstar's official premise describes a world where the old outlaw life is being squeezed by law enforcement and competing forces. The trio survives by adapting to that world rather than escaping it.